It happens at 2 in the morning. A pressurized supply line ruptures, and suddenly, hundreds of gallons of water are spreading across your floorboards. In an instant, your mindset shifts. You go from being a rational homeowner who carefully plans out renovations to a desperate victim who is completely out of time. When water is rapidly pooling around your ankles, you optimize for a single metric: speed. And that vulnerability introduces you to the panic tax, the massive financial premium you pay when you bypass the vetting process out of sheer desperation. Established, licensed firms typically manage high-volume schedules through structured dispatch centers. When an operator has no intake protocol and is instantly available at 2 a.m., they often lack the reputation, staffing, and backlog that define a high-demand professional. By rushing that single phone call out of fear, you bypass the very safeguards designed to protect you, shifting the burden of a catastrophic property failure entirely onto your own shoulders. This matrix maps the relationship between upfront vetting effort and long-term financial risk. Calling the first number you find online drops you here, the desperation hire. It requires the lowest possible effort, but exposes you to extreme danger. Operating in this quadrant exposes you to severe hidden consequences. You are highly likely to encounter inflated emergency rates, aggressive upselling tactics, and rush technicians who apply surface-level fixes rather than performing complete root cause diagnostics. The ideal hiring profile sits on the opposite side. This requires taking the time to verify state licenses, check local experience, and demand upfront pricing guarantees before a crisis strikes. Investing a small, deliberate amount of time into screening contractors is the only mathematically sound way to cap your absolute financial exposure during a full-scale infrastructure failure. When collecting estimates, unlicensed handymen routinely offer you a drastically lower initial quoted cost. It is a highly effective, seductive marketing hook. But the dividing line between a legally protected project and severe financial exposure is the Florida DBPR license. The DBPR is the Department of Business and Professional Regulation, the state agency that mandates rigorous exams and minimum insurance requirements for tradespeople. Hiring outside of that system creates an asymmetric risk profile. If an uninsured handyman accidentally breaks a main water line or causes a secondary flood in your home, they have zero liability coverage. Your personal homeowner's insurance policy is forced to absorb the massive repair bill. Furthermore, utilizing unlicensed labor explicitly voids the manufacturer warranties on expensive home hardware. If your new water heater or whole home filtration system fails prematurely, the manufacturer will refuse to replace it. Coastal counties also enforce strict hurricane-grade building codes. Allowing unpermitted, unlicensed work on your property can result in severe code violations that you are entirely responsible for financing and correcting. Accepting a low upfront quote from an unverified worker is never a true discount. It is a direct transfer of unlimited catastrophic liability from the contractor directly to you. Once you verify a license, you have to look at the billing structure. Time and materials is the single most dangerous verbal contract a homeowner can agree to in residential home services. This line graph illustrates the total cost trajectories of both billing models. The flat rate line stays perfectly horizontal, while the time and materials line curves aggressively upward. This model forces you to finance the contractor's inefficiency, increasing your bill by the hour. The superior alternative is upfront flat rate pricing. Under this model, the technician performs a rigorous physical root cause diagnostic and hands you a detailed written quote before ever picking up a tool. Securing this protection requires an initial trade-off. You typically have to pay a standard dispatch fee to cover the technician's travel and physical diagnostic time, but that upfront transparency structurally aligns the contractor's incentives with yours. Because the total price is capped, the technician is forced to do the job correctly and efficiently the very first time. They don't get paid extra for being slow. Refusing to demand a final, capped total before a single wrench is turned guarantees that you will pay an artificially inflated premium. Your plumbing is under constant, invisible attack from the environment itself. Poor water quality inflicts creeping, aggressive damage on your home's metal infrastructure over years. Coastal water tables, specifically in regions like Southwest Florida, present highly localized challenges. The municipal water here contains exceptionally high levels of calcium and magnesium. This harsh water chemistry systematically degrades water heater elements, calcifies older pipes, and clogs shower heads faster than the national average. This region also faces a severe secondary infrastructure threat, the localized slab leak. Many homes are built on concrete slabs with copper or polybutylene pipes routed directly underneath in the dirt. When those pipes degrade, water pushes up right through the foundation. If a generic plumber tries to fix a slab leak, they often rely on highly destructive guess and check methods. A true diagnostic specialist approaches the problem entirely differently. A specialist will utilize acoustic leak detection equipment. These are highly sensitive audio tools that isolate the precise frequency of water escaping under concrete, making it a mandatory prerequisite capability before any contractor touches a foundational leak. Hiring a local specialist equipped with this exact technology pinpoints the failure immediately. This prevents massive secondary property damage, like the unnecessary jackhammering of your interior floor tiles. Ignoring these local environmental threats ensures that a generic, poorly equipped contractor will only apply a temporary surface-level bandage to a systemic geological problem. To bypass marketing claims, we route any plumbing failure through a logical filter, the emergency hire protocol. On path A, you have an active emergency. If your home is flooding, your non-negotiables are explicit 24/7 dispatch capabilities and instant DBPR license verification. The ultimate red flag on this path is pricing. If a contractor offers you a vague, lowball hourly estimate over the phone while you are actively panicking, you must reject them immediately. On path B, you have a slow-moving, chronic issue, like mineral buildup or a suspected leak. Here, the priority shifts away from sheer speed. Your required filters are now specialized acoustic detection gear and proven local water expertise. This path requires you to directly interview the contractor about their specific hardware solutions for regional hard water, like filtration or softening systems, before you ever book an appointment. Strictly adhering to this protocol strips away the contractor's marketing fluff and exposes their actual legal, financial, and technical qualifications. The reality is, you cannot run a complex 5-point vetting matrix while standing in ankle-deep water. The only surefire way to defeat the panic attacks is to completely decouple your contractor vetting process from the actual emergency event. You need to proactively identify a local, fully insured, flat-rate, 24/7 contractor right now while you are in a state of calm. Locking in that emergency contact before a pipe bursts grants immediate peace of mind. You know exactly who to call and how they operate. Lasting property protection depends on having a verified, highly capable professional already in your pocket. It ensures that when the water rises, your financial risk stays exactly where it belongs, at zero.